This is Entrepreneurs Get Visible, the podcast for people who want more impact, influence, and income. I'm Anna Parker-Naples, and I'll be sharing with you proven methods from leading entrepreneurs that help you get visible as an authority in your field. Because anything's possible when you get visible. In today's episode of Entrepreneurs Get Visible, I want to talk through how do you decide which social media platform to focus on, because there are so many different facets that you have open to you to choose. And my thoughts are that, first of all, you want to make sure you have a presence on each of them. And by that, I mean making sure that who you help, who you serve is incredibly obvious, that you have content on there, that it is populated, and that everything is consistent. You're using the same image on your Instagram as you are to your Facebook page, that your Facebook page ties in with your LinkedIn photo as well. Then I think it's a question of making sure that your headers across the board are all congruent, so that your LinkedIn matches your YouTube matches what's going on your Facebook page and your Facebook group, so that wherever anybody finds you, it all looks and feels familiar and similar. You want to make sure that on each of the platforms you're using keywords in your title, in your description of what you do and who you serve, and that everything is populated to the best of your ability. And once you have done that, be it on Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, Clubhouse, once you've done that, once you've got a presence everywhere, you can then go all in on one place. And how do you decide this? Well, for me, the first thing is that you want to make sure that the social media platform that you're using out of preference is the one you personally feel most comfortable and familiar with. So, for example, my personal preference is Facebook. So I have consciously started my business by utilising the Facebook space. It's something that I've used for a long time. I understand how it works. I know how groups work. I know how pages work. I know how to use my Facebook profile. It's where I feel most at home. So now I'm at a stage in my business where I've got that sorted, I've got that sussed. So the next thing I was then looking at is, well, where are the majority of my clients? And I knew that for me, a lot of my clients are already quite established in business. And so above and beyond connecting me with a personal brand, I wanted to connect with as many people as I could in a business capacity. So at that point, really focusing on LinkedIn made a huge difference. And I used the LinkedIn search functions in order to connect very intentionally with the right kind of ideal client. So I wasn't just following anybody on LinkedIn. I was making sure that I was being strategic and thinking about the ideal client. And I think we went in something like a 6-month period from barely using the platform to almost 11,000 connections, which really serves me well. However, I will admit it still isn't my platform of preference. It's not where I feel most familiar. So I was still doing the predominant amount of posting on Facebook. Now we're at a different stage in the business where we are ready to get many more followers. I know what I'm doing on Facebook and it works for me. I know what I'm doing on LinkedIn and that works to a certain degree. But now we're going all in on Instagram. The reason is that whilst on LinkedIn, I'm predominantly bringing people into my high-end offers, so I potentially don't need to be reaching masses and masses and masses of people. I only need a handful of high-quality clients. Over on Instagram, I want that bulk because I'm going to be using Instagram not only for the kudos of having however many tens of thousands of followers, which I don't have yet. Historically, this has been the platform that I have not focused on. But by getting lots of followers and using a really targeted hashtag strategy over on Instagram, we're going to be using that to bring bulk so that we lead people to our lower end offers. So going into the freebies, coming into my membership, the things that are much more hands off and less one-to-one touch from me or from the team. The things that are, it's an easier route to funneling people in to pay us and purchase from us for the first time. So when you're thinking for your own business, which platform you should focus on, I think first of all, it's got to be about where you feel comfortable and familiar and you haven't got a really steep learning curve because you're already present on that platform to some degree. Then you've got to look at where your clients are and what the particular strategy is for your business for a period of time. And then you've got to be consistent. So making sure that if you're going to really dive into LinkedIn, you give it a 3 to 6 month window to focus on it, to learn it, to understand what you're doing. Because you're not going to get results overnight, and you're not going to get results if you focus for a week and then you disappear for a week and then you maybe put a whole load of posts out in one go and then you disappear again. It's the consistency that really matters on each of these platforms. And I think that if you get one platform up and running, knowing that you have something everywhere, so your profiles are populated everywhere else, once you've got one up and running, much like I have with my Facebook, you can then go over and for a period of time, maybe even a quarter within your year, you can say, right, this is the company focus and this is the growth that I want to have. And you can then break that down to, well, if I have this growth, what's it going to mean for the business? And generally, that growth is going to mean sales as long as you're using the platform properly. So if you decide that you want to go all in with LinkedIn, there are 2 incredible resources that I've mentioned on this show before. The first is Linked Inbound by my friend Sam Rathling. We've had Sam on the show before. The second is following Helen Pritchard, who runs a 5-day LinkedIn Leads Challenge. Both are excellent. They have slightly different styles as to how to use LinkedIn, but they show you how to do it properly. The other thing that you can do if you're going to go all in on Instagram, then I would really encourage you to follow one of our recent guests, Maggie Colette at Think Like a Boss on Instagram. She has a fabulous training called Grow Like a Boss, and she's supporting me massively in my business to go from a measly 3,000. We will scale fairly rapidly because we've taken that time to learn, to train, to understand, to realize what that content is all about. Whichever platforms you're focusing on, they all work in a slightly different way. And you need to give yourself that time and that space to actually do the learning, do the processing, and then implement and test. Every social media platform is a test. And what I would say is that as you're testing things like keywords, as you're testing copy, as you're testing what kind of images of you work, what kind of quotes work for you, what kind of video works for you, make sure that you track it. You're tracking somewhere what time of day you're posting, the insights that you have about audience interaction and engagement. You're tracking if you're getting link clicks, which you can do if you're over on Instagram, that they do it for you there. But if you wanted to track your links anywhere else, then you could use something like Bitly, for example. So one of my Bitly links is often annapn.co/. So I might have LinkedIn checklist. And then I might have a similar thing that is annapn.co/Instagram checklist. They aren't real links, so don't go follow those. Or maybe I should make them. But I would then be able to track, well, if I'm posting on LinkedIn, how many clicks am I getting versus the response I'm getting over on Instagram or over on Facebook. And the other thing that people are talking about is Clubhouse. Should you dive into Clubhouse? Should you utilize that space? And my answer to that is I would do it if you know you can do it properly, learn how to do it and show up consistently rather than just dipping your toe in and out. And it's one of the things that we tested right just over Christmas as Clubhouse was developing. I knew we had so much going on in the business that I personally couldn't commit to it right then and there. And so that's something that is having to go on the back burner and just wait a little while until we can go all in. So to recap then, the way that you know where you should start on focusing your social media efforts is 1, where do you feel familiar and comfortable? 2, where are your clients predominantly? And 3, Can you show up consistently? Can you go all in and give yourself a timeline for the amount of growth you want to see and allow yourself to really focus on that one platform at that time? So I would love to invite you to come over and check me out at Instagram at Anna Parker-Naples. I'm going all in. That is my platform of preference for the next 3 months minimum. We're going to be getting over there with reels, with lives, with stories, and working out the grid. And yeah, I'd love to take you on that journey, showing you the growth that I'm going to have now that I have useful knowledge about how to use the platform. So I hope this has been super useful for you today, and I can't wait to check in with you again next week. Thank you for listening to Entrepreneurs Get Visible. To get your free checklist on how to raise your profile and to find out about our community, go to annaparkernaples.co.uk/get visible.